Robert Heffernan, good evening, good morning. What is where you are? I mean, in Asia, it's morning. Where I am, it's just turning into evening. And this is Blockchain Vitals. It's our weekly segment. I do this on Sunday nights as we roll our weekly and our daily, for that matter, in the evening on the Pacific Northwest coast here, 4 o'clock in the evening, which is morning in Asia, and it's the start of the week. I remember way back in the day dreading having to get called into the bond room when they started trading Sunday nights for a 3 or 4 hour session to capture that Asian opening. What a brutal disaster that was. Cocktailing all weekend, and then you got to go in on Sunday night to cover the bond opening. Ugh. I got to tell you, I truly did love and do love trading some markets that close. But cryptos, they don't, right? 24/7, 365 days a year. Cryptos are available to trade. And as the weekly rolls, really important to check out that weekly fractal. What are the momentum levels? What are the center lines? What are the momentum collars in these things to give you an idea longer term, that longer term viewpoint, and where you should be paying particular attention so you don't get run over, all right? We don't marry bad positions here at EndoTech, all right? We do not marry bad positions. We get out of them, and when we let our winners run and we mind the mow. Anyway, let's do the rounds here Sunday night, and I got to tell you, it was a pretty slow news weekend in crypto land, the cryptosphere. Not a bunch to talk about, but I did notice one headline. Let's bring it up, and I loved it because I don't know what's happened to journalism, and because the headline is exclusive. Voyager CEO on why crypto regulation is the last step before mass adoption. All right, and then there's the little line underneath the picture that says that he thinks that crypto regulation is the last step before mass adoption. And then there's not another word about what regulation. I mean, you would think the article would be about regulation and why we need it and the types of regulation that we need and why that would be the last step before mass adoption. The article talks nothing about regulation. You know, so the headline guy never read the copy, right? For sure, he never read the copy, or he wouldn't have made the headline. Or maybe, I don't know. I think I took journalism in high school, and was for sure a different group of people writing headlines than were actually writing the articles. This still must hold true. Anyway, Voyager, interesting company, as they are an aggregator, basically, of market discovery. So you put in an order in, they're connected to 18 exchanges. They're still in beta, by the way, right now. And they figure that their expertise in exchange connectivity is going to give them the best chance to fill you with the best price, and they're going to take a haircut from that fill, that the algo that's supposed to be set. Anyway, interesting concept and a well-needed, believe me, a well-needed thing in this industry is people that understand markets, understand depth of market, understand that exchanges in this space are not faced with regulation, therefore lie about the volume that they actually transact, which makes it difficult sometimes to find places where there's real liquidity and not fake liquidity. Anyway, I wanted to bring it up for two reasons: to point out that I still don't understand journalism and why you would have a headline that brings you there for one reason and then never talks about that reason. But Voyager is a company to keep an eye on for market liquidity. So I wanted to bring that to your viewing pleasure and attention. All right, listen. Let's get to the meat of it. All right, that's the price discovery. Let's take the vitals. Taking the vitals, we do it every day, and it's my chance to talk the actionable trading information of this asset class. And this week, I'm going to spend some time every day on Dash. I've been a big fan of Dash for a long time, and although I've not held it this whole way down, I do like Dash. I like the use case scenario, especially evolving and continuing in Venezuela. Dash right now trading 71.34, 71.34. And although these things have traded sideways and some of them look worse than others, Dash still not in lower momentum in the daily. That's 70.63. And for me, more importantly, in Dash is that now sixth week in a row maybe here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, that one was out. It's traded out of lower momentum, not necessarily closed out of lower momentum on the weekly. This is the 8th week. So this is rounding. You can't tell me this ain't rounding. But 8th week in a row now out of lower momentum, or at least trading out of lower momentum on the weekly for Dash. And a lot of these others have the same type of setup. But anyway, this week, that level, 63.80, all right, 63.80, so about $9 lower than where we are right now in Dash before they can recapture lower momentum on the weekly. Now, there's been a lot of negative news that the big next leg down is right around the corner. And I got to tell you, you know what? Prove this to me by trending in lower momentum on the daily and recapturing lower momentum on the weekly, then I'm all in for another huge leg down. All right, I got no problem buying into that story. But right now, the market isn't acting like that. It's just congesting. It's continuing to trade sideways. It's continuing to trap people on shorter time frames where it looks like it's going to find momentum one way or the other, and then it doesn't. And so these are very difficult, markets to trade when you think volatility is going to show up and then it just doesn't show. Patience here, patience, and understanding that you're going to get churned a little bit in these type of markets until we find the direction that'll be the next large leg, up or down. And for Dash, that means recapturing lower momentum on the weekly, 63.86. 63.86, right now trading 71.34. And not in lower momentum on the daily, but definitely below the pivot. From those standpoints, a little bit weaker. So this is how we move forward. All right, we wait and wait for momentum to show, and understand where those potentials are. Now, Dash on strength, room up to 95.53. That's the weekly average. If things catch fire, 120, 120 weekly up momentum. So. And how about this? Lower momentum collar now in Dash, all the way down at $6.53. Woo! I really am not a cheerleader of this, of a developing further meltdown in this asset class, but that is the potential that the weekly chart is showing me and therefore showing you. All right, listen, I'm going to say goodbye to the YouTube crowd, and we're going to cover the rest of the top 12 here in Cryptoville. So see you later, YouTube.